the Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Just some boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. Ooh, I got sexy with that one. I am Patrick Basquel, and I love references and breaking the fourth wall. That's great stuff.
Hoy. And I'm John Gilardi, and I'm tired of Ryan Reynolds similes. I'm not even being creative about it. He's got a pretty good little formula there, doesn't he? Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna be very specific and sometimes like make unaware sexual innuendos, or I'm just gonna be really blatant with it, like unicorns fucking or something. It's just like,
yeah,
it's like alluding
this
to
cough
unicorns.
Is just like 2 unicorns fucked in my mouth.
Yeah, it's just like,
and it's like.
It was cool
Man.
in Deadpool, I guess, but now after the second Deadpool, which that movie was fine, and then this, and like everything else, it's like Ryan Reynolds, chill the fuck out, man.
No, listen, I love Ryan Reynolds, but Ryan Reynolds has done the same thing, and this is no fucking. This is not a bash on Ryan Reynolds, because I have a thing I was thinking about. I was like, I wonder if Ryan Reynolds is trapped, because I was looking at his IMDb, and after Green Lantern. After Green Lantern and like all the stuff, like, he essentially did voice, and then he did voice work where he did The Croods and Turbo, and then he had a couple of like things where he like tried stuff, where he was in a movie with Ben Kingsley where he played called Selfless. That was like kind of like a more serious sci-fi thing.
I remember that.
And then he did The Change Up. Say again?
I remember that movie, Selfless. That was like one of those movies that was pushed hard in the theater trailers. Yeah,
and it did not hit. And then
I think that was one of those New Orleans movies when the tax credit was there.
Yep. And then the R.I.P.D. thing too with Jeff Bridges. That was the same thing essentially. That was like another sort of like attempt to get a fucking a fucking franchise going for him. It didn't pan out. And then he was like, fuck it. And then he was like, I'm just going to go full in on this Deadpool thing and just not going to do what these people don't want me to do. Because it definitely is like after Waiting and all the like, he's got to play Van Wilder. He's got to play Van Wilder, and he's got to play his character from Waiting and all of the things. He's not allowed to do anything else. And I have sympathy for him because he's very, very good at it, but it's so formulaic in a way that is, I feel like it's more obvious than Tom Cruise playing Tom Cruise a million different ways,
Yeah. I think I mentioned it. Maybe he had a cameo in Hobbs and Shaw. And it's just like, this is Ryan Reynolds. It was so jarring and just like, is anyone else tired of this? Like, he's just being Ryan Reynolds.
But that's all we'll let him do, though. Like, if you look at the Hitman's Bodyguard, any of the movies, that's what he's getting paid to do. Even in Pokemon Detective Pikachu, that's what he's getting paid to do. That's what people want to see him as. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're maybe tired of it. But on a whole, people are like, yes, this is the thing that I want you to do, and this is what I expect you to do, so do the thing that I want you to do. Thank you so much for 100%. Giving me the... Huh?
Like 100% the theater, people they fucking loved it. It's so funny when people walk out and that's a really good movie. And
wow!
I mean, that's definitely coming off a little pretentious and snobbish from my end, but... From me,
100%,
but
100%.
But I'm also here like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's the same shit.
I'm so glad that you said that. I'm so glad that you said that.
Just now,
because I was gonna. Here's what I wrote for the subject. I was like, today we're gonna be talking about an irreverent comedy starring Ryan Reynolds playing the only version of himself the media-consuming nation will allow him to play, the self-aware, quick-witted protagonist who overcomes the obstacle. Free guy. It's like. I mean, that's it. That's all he's allowed to play.
It's just the Lego Movie with Ryan Reynolds too. Also,
bro, I literally thought that. I was like, as soon as we go into our opening little sequence where it's like he wakes up and he does a thing, and it's like, bro, this is a fucking Lego Movie. They already did this. This is the Lego Movie.
Yeah. So I guess we can get that out of the way, because that's probably the biggest elephant in the room on this movie is not the Lego derivative thing. That doesn't help, but just like, oh my gosh, it's just Ryan Reynolds. And it also doesn't help that this movie is like 2 to 3 years late due to whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's been kicking around. Obviously COVID, but I think it was ready a while before that. Yeah,
When was this?
I don't know.
Supposed to come out.
I don't. Let me know. But
So give us a synopsis of this movie while I'm looking this up.
yeah, so essentially, we're in the perspective of this game. It's like an online game, and we have this guy named Guy, and it's essentially the Lego Movie. And the backdrop is that there are these young indie devs, and they've kind of moved on from their dreams. And we find out that they made this AI code, and it's potentially in this game, and one of them is trying to find proof of it. And so Guy finds himself in the middle of this, and he helps out. And we come to learn that indie dev company, yes, their stuff was stolen, and yes, they created AI. And so it's this kind of this story about that with a little bit of love in there, and I definitely spoiled it with my synopsis. But
yeah, absolutely.
That is the movie. It's very simple.
But there's also, like, again, it's a popcorn movie. I feel like that's like maybe the first 10 minutes of it. And I don't think that you, like, if you haven't seen this movie yet,
I didn't ruin it because it's going
I think
there.
that we could, I think we could talk about this whole movie, and you could know all the points. And the thing, like, we're not going to ruin anything because I don't feel like there's any twist. Like, the only twist the dude thing, I can't believe that they did that as like a bumper. Like, I feel like they did that as a bumper for the like before the release of it. And I was like, huh. That feels like a cool thing that we could have seen, like we could have discovered that people were going to see this movie, were going to see it without seeing that there was a thing with Ryan Reynolds being jacked. Unless that came out after it got released.
Maybe, I don't know. Unfortunately, I never really watched the trailer, so it didn't spoil that for me. There is a lot of stuff that, like, the movie, minus that, do give it credit for how much the trailer kind of is out of sequence of how the movie is. So it is very, like, misleading, I guess, to what the movie's arc could be. So I do give it credit for that, especially for a popcorn movie. It definitely was nice with that kind of bait and switch, like, the famous example is of the Hulk and the Iron Hulk. But in this movie, whole scenes were switched around. There's lines where her accent was in English instead of an American accent, just due to the timeline of the movie. Like, it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was. I was like, okay, that's cool. If I really cared about this and paid attention to the trailers, it would have been nice. I only saw the trailer because it played every goddamn movie I've seen in the last month and a half. And then
that's how I feel
a
about
year before, it played a bunch too.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the Shang-Chi movie, where I've actually gone to see a bunch of movies in theaters recently, and
making up for lost time.
Yeah, it is. I guess so, but also I don't know. I'm also kind of like trying to squeeze stuff in before it shuts down again. Yeah, which is kind of what I feel happening.
That's a whole thing.
More and more people around me get COVID.
Yep.
But that's one thing that I like in the evolution of Ryan Reynolds is, while yes, he's doing the same thing, what I do like is he's really good at marketing, I think. And I think that
his passion and interest in his projects is palpable and genuine, and it certainly helps. Yeah.
But I think that's the thing that sort of has set him apart, because if you look at his IMDb, starting from 2015 to 2017, he essentially only plays Deadpool. No, there's a movie called Criminal where he plays Bill Pope. But everything is Deadpool. Like, he's Deadpool.
Jeez, Deadpool. It's crazy.
But it's just a bunch of like ads and a little sort of like things that he is adding in there.
Mm-hmm.
That is just like I think it's good because
oh shit, sorry.
What?
Keep going. I noticed something in the trailer. I'll come back to it.
Okay. I just think it's really interesting. Like, and even like his like Mint Mobile stuff and all the little ads and stuff that he does, I think that's where he really excels. And I think that even as I'm tired of his Ryan Reynolds-iness, I do appreciate him being like, hey, I'm just gonna go all in. I'm going all in on this, the thing that got me famous and got me good, and I'm gonna go all in. And I think that didn't he also like sell a tequila company or something like that, or no, the aviation gin he sold and he made fucking shit ton of money. And so now I think he's his own like ad agency essentially, where he's probably got stock in Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
And the various like companies that he makes his little Ryan Reynolds ads for.
Oh yeah. I mean he can. I think he can sell. Like I mean, like the reason that these same movies work with him doing the same old thing is because people love it, and then that's why that translates to like brand deals and his marketing and all that, obviously. So it's he's not going away, and it's not. It hasn't kept me away to this point. I did get I probably felt the most fatigued in this movie, especially in the beginning, because the beginning was very like world building and peppy setup, which it lasted for an hour. So like I mean the first probably 30 45 minutes I fucking hated this movie. There's some cheeky things, and I like seeing the Halo tank. I was like, okay, cool. So there's some Halo stuff in there. I mean, there's some deeper gamer stuff in there that I appreciate.
Tell me about that, cause that is not my world.
Yeah. Well,
I was just like, this is a tank.
Well, quick thing, when I said or whenever I interrupted you, I noticed in the trailer, the part where he gets the health pack originally.
Yeah.
You can see in the trailer that it's like very badly painted over digitally, his like broken and bloody nose for that part where he's like flipping the glasses up and down. So in the trailer, they even hide that he's bloody there, which might be a FCC thing. I don't know. But anyways, what was the prompt? You want me to jump in?
Oh, what are the various?
Oh yeah, like the plugs and stuff. Yeah, I think it wasn't condescending to gamers. I think it was very like. It was definitely not
condescending to gamers.
No, it wasn't. Like I think it definitely wasn't like Pixels or something like that. Like I think it was it wasn't. It didn't feel like for gamers by gamers, but it felt for gamers, if that makes sense. I guess. Like it wasn't condescending. There was some appreciation for the craft of gaming and the passion of it, and there was enough good plugs in there. The Halo one with the Scorpion tank was nice to see. It's off the top, I'm blanking. I mean, the portal gun made two showings. Essentially the helicopter, the little bird, like you see all the time in GTA. Or the star rankings, of like wanted levels.
Yeah.
Some of the like gamer culture lingo stuff was pretty okay, but there was that one joke with the two sisters playing. It's like, oh, fucking waste them. It's like, huh, that's funny. And then they just did the joke again. I was like, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was almost like a little bit of a. That's more of the Ryan Reynolds kind of cheeky comedy stuff, but
yes, cheeky.
Yeah, I don't know. And then at the end, the just smorgasbord of awesome cheesy moments. I love that, and I'll jump right to that because we're talking about I guess reference to the nerd culture stuff. But when when the dude guy comes to attack him and whatnot. And then he uses the Captain America shield, and then the Avengers music plays, and I love that too because this is a Warner Bros. Property, and that's all Disney. So did Disney buy now?
Well,
it's getting confusing.
No, it's not Warner Brothers. It's 20th Century Fox.
Oh shit. Okay, either way, same difference.
So yeah, it's technically a Disney property because Disney did buy 20th Century.
Oh god, I can't keep track anymore of who
and that's
they
why,
own and they don't own.
Well, that's why. Well, they own everything except for DC, and anything. Warner Brothers is the last holdout, I would say.
Okay.
Because Disney owns 20th Century Fox. Marvel, Star Wars, other stuff. Sony has Spider-Man.
Yep.
But that's why the X-Men are coming, and that's why they were able to do Wiccan and Speed.
Yeah, they pretty much got everyone besides Spider-Man at this point. But anyways, so that was just a fun kind of sensory overload. Oh my god, the Avengers with the shield. I didn't see that coming. That was just so dumb. And then he pulled out the lightsaber and the Star Wars music plays.
God, dude.
And I
got vibes when that. I was like, hell yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. This is fun. And I did enjoy the later half of the movie. That was a lot. The movie got better towards the end. Especially got more interesting with the AI component. It gave some stakes to this world because there was really no stakes to that point besides I don't know, corporate stealing, espionage. I don't know. So
yeah,
and then even Taika Waititi's character was weird to see him play that, but his character got stronger the more he did it. You say boring?
Yeah, I felt bad. I didn't feel bad. I mean, man's doing it. Man's eating. He can get anything he wants to, fucking greenlit.
Yeah.
But it felt like he was when he was acting, it felt like he was yeah, here I am. I'm doing it. I'm playing this character. But it was, and then also, speaking of that, I was in the theater and there were kids in the back who were like, "Oh, that's the voice of the Rock guy from Thor 3." And I mean, yes, that's cool that they recognize him, but also he was that's sort of I don't know. It was just funny. It was yeah, obviously, but also they're children, and that's the thing.
So do you hate children? This is the lesson.
Yeah, that's the lesson right there. But it also is just it feels like it's reductive.
Yeah.
Where it's yeah, okay, I guess. And that's what made me laugh when I was doing the voice for the entity in the Killer Hook short that we did.
Oh, yeah.
And the comments are oh, that's I wonder if they got the guy who played. I was like, no, I wonder if they got the guy who plays Korg.
Yeah, we got fucking Taika Waititi.
And I was like, guys, that's me doing a bad New Zealand accent. It's okay, it's not great, but and I remember when I was recording it, and I was in person, I'm yeah, no, I got a pretty good, Australia, New Zealand accent, and it's what it is. And then I remember when I was recording it, it was very clear to me. I was oh no, this is a person who's doing an accent, who is absolutely doing an accent, and not their native tongue at all.
Yep. Well, if people just hear the caricature of it, which is exactly what you went for. I mean, I think to that point is more or less why maybe he took this role on a few years ago with his just getting his face out there. Obviously, he's got cameos in the stuff he's directed. Is he in that is he in the vampire show?
He was in the movie.
Okay.
He was the main character in the movie.
Obviously, he had the cameo in Suicide Squad. I'm trying to think of when I've seen him on screen.
I mean,
you've seen him as
also in Green
IV-88 or whatever, that tall robot in Mandalorian.
Yeah. He was also he was in Green Lantern.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, that explains the relationship. Obviously, he plays Hitler in JoJo.
Yeah, he does.
Nice little credit for his resume.
Yeah, but he essentially plays Ryan Reynolds' best friend.
Huh. I still haven't watched that movie. I've always been curious about it. And not even ironically, I've just been curious about it.
It is what it is, man. What's he got as far as acting credits?
A bunch of stuff in New Zealand. Flight of the Conchords, some episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, look, he got Green Lantern. What we do in the shadows? Hunt for the Wilder People. That movie's so good if you haven't seen it.
Oh, I've seen it, and I loved it. I recommend it to everyone that would listen to me after I watched it.
Listen to me!
Exactly.
I'm excited for Our Flag Means Death, which is his Steed Bonnet.
What's that?
He stole it from me. It's a story of Steed Bonnet, who's the gentleman pirate, and I won't ruin it for you, but it's both very frustrating, because it was like, I had an idea like that. Like I have like an outline for three seasons, of like a thing on Steed Bonnet, because I did like a lot of research on him when I was a pirate on Bald Head Island.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very interesting story, and it's just funny. It's also like really validating, where it's like, oh, one of my favorite directors is doing something. Like he's like, hey, yeah, this is a really cool story that I would like to make in my style. And I was like, huh, cool.
There's so many like untold real stories out there. It's just cool. It's like you think we've reached the like. There's no more original stories or whatever out there. I don't know, but there's so much, and the fact and the volume of content. It's insane to think on a random side tangent, like the volume of content now compared to like 10, 15 years ago. Because obviously everyone's the streaming wars and I mean I think the movies are more or less the same, but the whole I think of making lucrative franchises I think are extra kind of. There's extra motivation
and I think,
there to everyone hit that one, make that.
And I think like, hit. Yeah, and also I think like the total quality is way up too, where it's like, even like the sitcoms are like shot like mini movies, and even if they follow their like the sitcom rules, sort of, they're much more unpredictable, and like even if you watch fucking Vampire Diaries or even Riverdale. Like it's probably cheesy, but there's also probably moments that surprise you. I've been watching. My sister really likes watching the Outer Banks, and my dad. So they've been watching that on Netflix, and it is it's fucking cheesy as hell. But there's also moments that are like that still kind of hit because they hit the right beats and stuff, but it still kind of hits even if they do take a ferry to Chapel Hill from the Outer Banks.
Wait, they do?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And I think I talked to somebody who was on the show. One of my good friends plays Shoop, and I think that there was an editing mistake where they were supposed to take a ferry in and then get a bus. But the way that they edited it, it makes it look like they took a ferry
oh my God.
From Outer Banks to fucking Chapel Hill. And there's also several moments where they're in the Outer Banks and they're like, we're going to go down to Masonboro. And it's like, no, you're not. There's no way. Or they're like, hey, these people are on Figure 8 Island. It's like, so it's kind of like an amalgam. Like if you look at it that way, it's like it's kind of like an amalgam.
It's like a mini world of like it's like a little fantasy world. It's like Game of Thrones. You can walk from city to city in hours, but it's a huge country. That's
well, at least
nothing breaks the illusion of games and stuff like that. I don't know why I say games. I guess I just saw game footage while I'm watching this trailer in the background. There's nothing that breaks the illusion of movies and TV, like having firsthand experience or knowledge or whatever to it because you live there or whatever, or you've been there. It can do one of two things. It can build the movie magic and you're like, hell yeah, that's cool. Or you're like, fuck, I can't see that the same anymore. or it ruins the experience actively, saying taking a ferry from Chapel Hill, which is about 150 miles inland from the
there's it's impossible. There's no way to take a ferry to Chapel
from the
Hill.
Outer Banks too. I'd say that's almost 250 miles. So yeah,
I mean, I don't know, dude. I know that it's been a long time since I've been to the Outer Banks. The last time I went there was whenever my sister's babysitter got married and we went, and I was like maybe 10.
Outer Banks sucks. It's good. It's nice. It's fun, but it's a dying place, and everyone
shots fired, dude.
And everyone shows up at the same time, so there's crazy traffic, and then everyone leaves at the same time a week later, so then there's stupid crazy traffic, and it's a super long island, so the in and outs are very limited, and yeah, it's a thing.
Gotcha. It's so funny to me where it's like places like that where it feels like we do a whole lot of work to make sure that they continue to exist.
Yep.
And it's also necessary that they exist, but it's not necessary that people live out there as much as they do.
No.
You know? Because it's necessary that we have those barrier islands because that's one of the things that keeps our fucking shoreline from getting absolutely smashed with hurricanes. But at the same time, doing that work to keep those islands there and then doubling the amount of work to make sure that houses stay there too. It's like, I don't know. But I don't know. People have been there for fucking so long. That's one of the places where there's the coolest dialect in where it's essentially like the island brogue, where it's like kind of like Scottish. But it's I can't remember what it's called, the Outer Banks brogue. It's called
I didn't know
something.
that existed. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's one of the most interesting linguistic things in America.
I mean, I don't think it's hard to meet a local there because I'm sure everyone there is most people there are new or just tourists.
Yeah, the Carolina Brogue.
Is that, do they have that reflected in the show at all or no?
No, it's a hoy-toiter. Because it's a hoy-toiter is the Ocracoke Brogue. Because it's hoy-toid. It's like derived from the Irish and Scottish colonists.
Huh.
That's the Ocracoke Brogue or a hoy-toiter. There you go.
So
how did you feel about the streamers doing the thing?
Yeah,
that was fine. Popping in and out.
That was fine. It was kind of cool in a weird way. Because a couple of those people have reacted to the JT stuff in games, like Easter eggs, like Jacksepticeye and Dan TDM. They found a JT Easter egg and like, oh, JT, or what's this? Or I don't know. They just saw it, had eyes on, so that was cool. And then Laserbeam, we've talked and we've collaborated with and partied with him essentially, and now he's blown up, like he's internationally famous. So it's super weird to see, like, oh shit, Landon. So. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hates me because I called him Australian PewDiePie at a party. But
oh no, take it back right here, right now.
Yeah, but
or don't. I don't know. Live your life.
But either way, it was just crazy to see. So that was cool, and I think it was well done enough. I think it was pretty genuine, and I've seen enough of some of their content, and I've seen more of Landon Laserbeams than anyone else's of that had a cameo, and it all felt like. That's shit he would say. You know, that's if this was happening. Yeah. So, and didn't feel super pandering. I think it felt like aware of the impact these people have, I guess, maybe in the world. I think initially
I didn't like it, like when I first saw it, because it sort of broke up the rhythm of the thing. But I ended up like kind of being lukewarm on it, where it's like, yeah, okay, that works, that makes sense, that's a part of the thing. But I think that it could have been something that they added in afterwards, and so they were like, oh, we got to do this. We didn't have time, or we don't have time to kind of flesh it out, because I feel like it would have been cool to like, and I think keeping it with a real person, like if they had Ninja or Jacksepticeye.
I mean, I roll my eyes at Ninja because I think he's a tool, but...
Yeah, listen, I'm just saying, it's like he's also, I know who he is.
Also, he had the like highest production value.
Well, and that's what made me wonder if they
thing. So like, yeah. So
it made me wonder if like they had like a bigger thing, but it didn't follow through. Because what I would have preferred would be like, say we're with Ninja and he's playing through Free City or something, and then he encounters Blue Shirt Guy, and like. Maybe is the first person who gets the glasses taken from. So it becomes like a little bit more of an arc, and we get to follow essentially these 3 different things. But we have like sort of like a starting point of that like viralness of the blue shirt guy, because it was kind of felt like we were force fed the viralness, which is
like,
fine.
Oh, it's just happening. But I agree. I think there's a lot of simplicity of the viralness, I guess. Like it just really comes out of nowhere. Like in terms of movies and television and fictional media, the viral stuff is always like someone with a camera and it just blows up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like how many gems are out there that just don't blow up. There's a weird circumstance of serendipity and just luck and in the right place, right time on top of just the good clip or the good whatever, you know?
I think that the TV show Dave has done the best with the viral thing, where it is just like there's an episode where he's like, well, you got to go viral. And it's like, what does that mean? I got to think about it. It's like, no, you don't got to think about it. The less you think about it, the better. Just get out there and wear a costume and do a weird thing. We'll just post it 1 million times. And then people will either hate it or love it. And that's what it is. And so it's just like, it's not a good viral, but it's simple enough where it's like, okay, yeah, that went viral, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know, it's good. It's better. It's the best interpretation of something going viral. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't think that this would do anything. But it did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. A lot of the time it is just genuine or like you didn't have the plan. I think that's the point of it, which, I mean, Free Guy didn't have a plan of becoming viral or whatever, but it is in that tried and true way where it feels like that. Kind of lazy setup or lazy misunderstanding of it, or maybe it's a simplification for, you know, the average viewer or what have you, which they still need to appeal to the lowest common denominator, you know, need to still appeal to 45-year-old Tammy Buckworth from, Kansas City. So
good old Timmy.
Tammy. She's the mother of Timmy.
Tammy.
She's the mother of Timmy and Johnny, the kids that dragged her along, and she needs to enjoy the movie
Timmy
too.
and Tammy.
Yeah.
Oh, so it went viral. Okay, now I understand.
Yeah, I love that too. The like, oh, I get it. Okay, I get it now.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So,
I think that's what this movie did really well, where it was like, the proof is in the game. The proof that our code is in the game is in the game. That's where it is, not in the code, but he hid it in the game. So we got to do it in the game. And they were like, all right, level up. And he was like, all right, I will.
Yeah, I think it definitely does dumb it down to the lowest common denominator, but it's not insulting or anything, or it's not making fun of like nerds or gamers or like like trolls. Like there's obviously that gag with the Channing Tatum nerd guy. But I mean, that's kind of the give and take, you know, that's something that everyone or the average person would find funny, you know, and there's still some fun jokes to be had with that kind of bait and switch, I guess. But
yeah, there's fun to be had. There's fun that's there. What were you going to say? I interrupted you. You said you were going to say something.
So I feel like I don't know why it's in the movie. I don't know if there was a rewrite and they just kept it. But you know when he like challenges, he's like, I'm going to have a macchiato. And then everyone looks at him like
cappuccino.
Yeah, cappuccino. And everyone's look at him like he's become lucid in a dream and he needs to wake up, you know?
Yeah.
Like this tank aims at him, which is presumably, you would think, a player, but I guess it's AI. And the cop's like, I'm going to fucking shoot you, man. What are you talking about? And it's just this weird thing. And he's like, oh, no, I'm kidding. I just want my regular old kind of programmed, same thing I've done every day for the last however, like, so what did that do? All that did was establish maybe self-awareness. The system is going to attack it, you know, like, but that doesn't happen. You know, he then like fucks up he takes glasses off of players and plays the game and does all sorts of things. He changes the fabric of the game. He's trying to get people like his friend and others to see. So it's like, what the fuck did that scene do? What was the point of that? There was literally no point to that. It wasn't even that. It wasn't funny.
It showed because the girl, the barista, then looked at the coffee machine and was like, cappuccino, and then like later,
well, yeah, it had
Joe
a point.
Keery, Keys. It had a point, but it I agree that it was like, wait a second, is this right? Is this good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a huge thing, but it's just like, what are we doing here?
Well,
again, the tank,
yeah.
like the tank, like.
I think the tank is the thing. I remember.
Well, I guess
remember
the tank
thinking that in the
can be
theater
AI.
where it's like the tank can be AI, but it was also, I would say that because was that the Halo tank?
No, it was just a regular M1 Abrams.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. It's an M1 Abrams, and I feel like the National Guard would have the M1 Abrams, so it like makes sense.
Could be a 5-star.
Yeah, that's like all of a sudden, but that doesn't make sense because if that was the case, as soon as he deviated from his programming, and again, I guess we can get into where it doesn't make sense and where things are like, because, and I want to, before we jump into this, I want to say that I kind of love that they were like, task, accomplish it, move on. The proof is in the game. Don't worry about it. Move on. He gets sunglasses. Don't worry about it. Move on. And so it's like, I don't mind it, but the moments that I was like, cause we could go down this road and we're going to, where it's like, okay, if he deviates from his programming and asks for a cappuccino and they're like, oh, hold on, I'm going to shoot you. We don't like this. Then as soon as he deviates from his programming and gets the sunglasses, the same thing should happen. And then every step of the way from there, where it should be like magnified against him, where it's like, no, NPC, don't do the thing.
Yeah. So it just, I guess, as a viewer of many movies, as anyone should be, that goes to see movies, that you're trained to pick up things. It's like, I'm being shown this for a reason. And
yeah.
So you could have had her wake up, or you could have had him do the cappuccino thing and have her come to realization that without that drama.
Or without the recognition of the other characters, I think, too.
Yeah.
I think
it didn't have to be a big deal.
I think that's what sells it more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because the recognition of everyone kind of shows the hive mind system kind of thing. Like, oh, they're all connected because they're all programming. They're all code and they're all whatever. So it's not a huge thing to me. It didn't ruin it. I'm not as hung up as I am as it sounds about it. It's just like, why? Like, it's so bizarre. And
yeah,
I just truly am asking why, to the ether, I guess.
Yeah. Tell me why. I also love that they didn't try to, and again, trying to figure out like, what are the mechanics of this game? Like, what is this game? It feels like it's like sort of Grand Theft Auto, sort of Battle Royale, but none of the NPCs fight back, which is strange.
Yeah, there's like cops.
Because that's the thing in...
Jesus Christ, sorry. I'm recording a podcast. My girlfriend just showed up and tapped me in the back. Like, came up quietly and just scared me, sorry. It's genuine.
Jesus!
Genuine startled.
Hey, this is a A1 genuine startle.
Yeah.
But like the game, it's like, what is this game? There's like they're robbing stuff, but wait a second.
I mean, it has to be Grand Theft Auto because Grand Theft
It's
Auto.
gotta
There's
be
no bad guys. I mean, there's like gangbanger, thug, henchman.
It looked
bad
like
people,
awful.
And then
it looked
cops
like it
in
looked
the military.
like it looked like Grand Theft Auto, like PUBG or Grand Theft Auto. It looked like a mobile version of Grand Theft Auto.
Like when
because there were so many.
Yeah.
Because there were so many.
Shit.
Yeah, because there's like that's not how that. I mean, as far as like the UI, that would be like. It looked incredibly garish and like, look, it is a video game. Which again, I don't mind. I think it gets the point across, and I think that's one of the main things that this movie does really well is just like, hey, here's a point. I'm getting it across. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't fucking worry about it.
I got another fallacy thingy. I just remembered.
Give it to me, bud.
See how he kisses her, and then she's like,
yeah.
There's no kissing button though. I don't know how he did that, but okay.
And then she kisses him.
Yeah.
There's no button for that.
Which we've established. Like,
yeah.
Whatever, didn't bother me, but it's just like, why?
I remember thinking that.
You wanted
I remember
that
thinking
cheap
that
joke
in the
about
moment
the
too.
button.
I was like, huh.
Yeah.
There we go. Look at that.
There's shit like that just makes me feel like this is a movie that cooked too long, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Like they edited it too much?
Yeah, or it just I have no idea. Maybe. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Huh.
It
okay.
There's things
like
that.
Sounds like you're weighing. It sounds like it's like you took it out of the. You took it like when we started this, you had microwaved the oatmeal, and it's like it was hot, and you were like, I still don't necessarily want to eat this microwaved oatmeal, but it sounds like the more you're talking about it, the oatmeal is getting cooler and cooler, and you're like, I don't know about this.
Maybe. I enjoyed watching it as it went on. The beginning
it's a popcorn movie.
Yeah, it was fun. And the beginning was kind of dreadful with like the Ryan Reynolds like Lego movie. I was like, I've seen this so many times already. And I'm normally like an apologist for that kind of stuff, like the Hangover movies. I could watch more movies like that. Like that stuff's fine for me. But I guess I'm fatigued on it. But anyways, I'm repeating myself. That's all to say. It got a lot more enjoyable, and I did enjoy this movie. I gave it. I'll jump the gun and say I gave it 3.
Okay.
3 power-ups, 3 health bars, 3 whatever out of 5. I sounded like such a fake gamer, not coming up with a clever.
Yeah, you did a bad one. Hey, I'm gonna
whatever.
give it 2.5 chug jugs. Look at that. I know that one. 2.5 chug jugs, baby.
Fortnite. Yeah, there was Fortnite reference in there with the llama hammer thing. Which
that was what I was gonna say.
That got no emotional response in the theater. Star Wars and Avengers.
It's too old.
The gravity gun, which is another good nod from Half-Life, and the portal gun.
Half-Life. I was like, I know that's something from something, but I wasn't sure what.
Those all got good, like nice. But the Fortnite, no one cared.
I mean,
and I think that's not as much on it not being culturally significant. I think that's just kids being like, it's dead game, it's old, no one plays it, or something
well,
stupid,
but also
petty bullshit.
I mean, it also went from a lightsaber to a fucking axe from fucking Fortnite, and it's like, no, dude, lightsaber is much cooler. You know, stick with that. And that's what I was gonna say is like those references. I felt like the strongest references were movie references, rather than like video game references. And maybe that's because
that's what they understand.
Yeah, it's what they understand, but it's also like the video game stuff was like, it felt like it was so much in the background. And that also could be my perspective as a person who not necessarily likes video games, but does like movies. You know, so like those are the stuff that I recognize, and that's the stuff that I connect with. But it also felt like in the theater, those were the moments that were like, haha, nice. Well, that everyone was like, oh, okay, cool.
I haven't seen the new Space Jam, but I think another kind of crossover cameo, whatever movie that does this kind of stuff really well was Ready Player One. Because like this game comes across and is described as a game, like a singular game contained experience, right? And then like the Oasis and Ready Player One is like this hub that's revolutionized gaming as we know it, and everything's there. It's software. You can go play games within the game. Like it's everything. And that's so why
it's its own universe. So
that's why everything is in there, because it is everything. But in this, it doesn't track really well why the lightsaber shows up, or like the Halo tank is there. You know, like I almost prefer that to have just been a regular M1 Abrams tank. Name drop that again for some reason.
There we go.
And so, I would have preferred that.
I hear you.
I think, and it doesn't make the world seem bigger. I think it's just an Easter egg. It's just pure pleasure.
It feels cheap, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Where it's like, because I think that there's a broadness to the Ready Player One stuff. Like I think that Ready Player One is a substantially better movie. If it's not, if the issue though, I think with Ready Player One is that it's probably not as much fun. Like, it's a little bit more of a slog through, where you're like, oh gosh, here we go, and I don't think that they with Ready Player One necessarily dove into like sort of the fun aspects of it as much.
Yeah.
Versus this movie, which was just all fun. It was all sugar.
Yeah, and I think it's what passes for comedy these days too. So it's kind of like as a release, I'm not insulting its comedic level. I'm just saying that's the state of things. Like, this is the comedy for August, for late summer. Whatever.
There's nothing. I wonder. It's like if there's anything that's not action. Like, it feels like everything is like, here's an action movie, and then also this is a serious action movie, this is a loud action movie, and this is a comedy action movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at like the recent comedy movies, and we've got Cruella is listed as one, Jungle Cruise, which is an action movie, Freaky, which is not an action movie, but it is about murders and stuff. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is an action movie. The Suicide Squad, which is an action movie. Thunder Force, action movie. But like, that's like kind of the vibe where it's like, it's an action movie, but it's goofy and they're bad at it or something.
Well, it's like the whole genre blending thing is cool, but it's like historically been done out of need or for novelty. Like like the Korean market, they're a small country and they produce less movies, so they genre blend so that more people can come out to the theater, and there's more and more because there's less or whatever. I don't know. And
it looks like
in the US there's no reason to do it in terms of that reasoning, but that's all we get now is genre blending, almost like exclusively, or at least comedy is always blended. And
thanks, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, I think what started it, sadly, was the Transformers movies. I think that was some of the first like major genre blending I saw, and I'm saying genre blending a lot, but
genre blending. I
don't know. Can you think of anything else earlier? I think that is. I mean, like the second or third Transformer movies is when they really took their comedic stride. Like the first one has its funny bits, but it's not. It's a little bit more focused, I guess. It has quirkiness. But second and third ones just get ridiculous.
I would say probably the second one then. Like, if the first one is honest, and then the second Transformer is the one where it's like, hey, here's something that we kind of fell into, so we're gonna follow it.
Yeah.
And I would say that it peaked, and everybody kind of took notice whenever it did come to. I mean, you could even say Avengers, or like, but I would say more so than Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's like, this is sort of like a comedic romp, but it's also a Marvel movie, but it's also an action movie.
Yeah.
We've even got our funny fat guy, but we turned him hot in Chris Pratt. And now he's a American everyman. Yeah. And now it's like proliferated out till it's become even more where it's like, that's what we want to find. We want to find Guardians of the Galaxy. We want to hit the Suicide Squad. And I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know what, because all these Werewolves Within looks like it's a movie that's like kind of more comedic, but it also definitely has that like horror spin. But I guess that kind of is like, what is Plan B? Looks like a good one.
In terms of comedies?
What? Yeah, I'm trying to look at like what is a comedy, you know?
Seth Rogen. I don't know. There's a while where Seth Rogen was comedy.
Yeah.
But it's like, why the fuck does Adam Sandler, up until recently, still get to make stupid fucking movies on Netflix and they still succeed? Like, why is that still happening, you know?
Because he signed a contract, dude.
I know it's still yeah, but it's performing is the other thing. And then,
because like you're saying, like there's a dearth, there's an emptiness there of no comedy movies, and so now he has the opportunity where he gets to make the comedy movie of the thing, you know? So he doesn't have to, he gets to make fucking Sandy Wexler or The Ridiculous Six. I mean, but that's an interesting thing. We're talking about comedy again, where it's comedy is a reflection or it's a commentary on the thing that is the most popular. So, or it's the heightened reflection of reality. So it's like those movies that are old school, that are comedies, or old school fucking The Hangover movies, Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin, where it's like those are straight comedy movies, I guess you would say, but that's a reflection of the stuff that was being made, where it's like rom-coms. We got a lot of rom-coms in the late 90s, and then you also have, I don't know, it's just interesting now that the comedy movies have become reflections of what we get the most of, which is like almost like action comedy movies. So it's like the line is getting blended between the two of them so much.
Yeah. What if they, you know, how kids don't know what rotary telephones or like maybe soon DVDs or obviously VHSs. Like, what if there's like the concept of a singular comedy become foreign? I don't know. That's ridiculous. I'm just joking around, but maybe not. I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows, dude?
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to say about this?
About Free Guy?
Yeah.
No, it's a fun movie. I mean,
well, I guess since we gave it ratings, and I think maybe this is something we can start doing, but would you recommend it? I guess is a pretty good metric too. Like, would you recommend this movie?
I would recommend waiting until this got to HBO Max. I don't think you need to see this in the big theater.
No, it felt like a movie that was old, or I think because I knew it was. Yeah, I agree. I think I recommend it. If you love Ryan Reynolds, if you aren't over him, you eat that shit up, good, like happy for you, then you'll love it, and go see it. You know, soon if you want to spend the $12 to $15. But otherwise, I agree. Wait for HBO Max. You know, spend the $12 to $15 for a monthly subscription and watch a bunch of shit. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Disney Plus, I think, or whatever it'll probably end up on.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it could be a good Disney Plus matchup because it's kind of clean and fun, but also mature.
Well, I also think Disney owns it.
Yeah, I think they own both.
What, Free Guy?
No, HBO Max is Warner Bros, so it won't be HBO Max. But same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Same thing. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I would say. That's what it is. I would say wait. You know, it's had its moment. I think that, you know.
Yeah, and I didn't get to expand on it, but it does feel like a movie that it just feels like it didn't feel like a new thing. It didn't feel like an event. It just felt like, oh, this movie is finally out. Let's go. Like, you know, it's finally here, but it didn't feel new. It just felt it's a weird thing. It's only something that can exist in this COVID world. So I don't knock the movie for that directly. It's just kind of the circumstances. But yeah, it was weird in that regard, and there's no need to rush it, I think.
Yeah. I don't think that it's. Yeah. No. That is the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Wait for it to come out. What are the levels of recommendation?
See it now.
I feel like it's like see it now.
See
get
if it's
there
up
as soon
your
as you
alley.
can.
Yeah. If it's for you, go see it. Wait for it. Don't.
No, I think that I think it's like
Simplify it.
you gotta go see it. You could. I think you should go see it. And then it's like, if you want to wait for it, don't see it.
Yeah. It's like 5. It's like it's like those surveys.
Yeah.
How
Go
positive-
now.
How positive do you feel about this? Not so positive. A little positive. Neutral. It's just a little negative. Very negative.
Yeah.
These things are supposedly standardized, but I think it's just a bunch of people pretending to be nerds and making shit up about stats. That's just me.
That's us. That's us right here, bud.
Yeah.
We're pretending to be nerds, making up stuff about stats.
We're so not genuine. This is
Not me.
all a ruse, just to get the couple hundred of you to listen to us every week. Yeah. So what have you been watching?
I've been watching. I did a little run where I did a net. I saw a net on Thursday. Then I saw Candyman on Friday. And then I saw Free Guy on Saturday.
Have you said Candyman in front of the theater ever?
Have I said in front of the theater or in front of a mirror?
In front of a mirror.
Oh, I haven't, and I probably won't, just because it's like
You don't want to try.
I just don't want to try.
Yeah.
I'm a person who works in film, and I write stuff, and I know that it's fake, but you know what? Why would I?
Yeah.
Why? It's not my place.
That was such a big thing in my elementary school. Because we had this bathroom off the cafeteria gymnasium combo. And
I haven't seen any of the originals.
I didn't know what the original was. I just knew like people were like, yeah, if you go in the bathroom and turn the lights off and say Candyman, and then he'll be behind you when you turn it on. It was the most fucking terrifying thing.
Yeah. I have said the Bloody Mary one, though. I've definitely said Bloody Mary in front of a mirror 3 times.
Oof.
Which is chill.
That's just a little spooky to me.
It's spooky, boo.
I think you'll like.
That's what I've been watching.
What I've been seeing. I saw Iron Man 3. I don't know if I mentioned this the last time or not.
Yeah, you've been watching through.
Yeah. I saw Moonrise Kingdom.
Ooh, nice.
Very delightful little film. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Sweet little stuff.
I saw Free Guy, and then I've been going deep on Ted Lasso.
Hell yeah.
So much, like almost if you're current on it, or maybe we can do it after season 2 concludes. But like I'm loving that show. Like it's like the positivity and like sometimes the lack of conflict. Nice.
Yeah.
I just don't have an issue with that. I'm just loving it. I'm loving people being good to each other and
being honest.
Being honest and there for each other, and it's
so,
just
like that's the thing that's great.
Yeah, and it makes you want to go out there and be a good person and make the relationships you have the best you can. And I'm like fucking crying every episode just because I'm so touched by it. It's insane. It's a really good show. I saw someone trying to knock it because it's rom-communism or something. I don't know what that means, but like it's like even everyone's got to like it's such a nice positive thing. And of course, there's some asshole there who's not happy. He needs some positivity in his life.
Yeah, maybe I feel like you need Ted Lasso the most of all, bud.
Yeah. The funny thing is the character reminds me of a college roommate so much. It's just like that southern kind of chipper positive type. His name's actually Chip too. So it's like that like that like goofy southern name kind of thing. And then I think like one of the lead producers on the show is Chip also. So it's like, and he's also a big soccer guy. But it's not all there, but it's like, oh, these are all like a bunch of mixing of this guy that I lived with for a few years, so it's just funny.
Yeah, that is funny. That you have that like weird personal connection that like drew you to it. That's like he actually reinforcing this thing time and time again.
Well, he always liked Jason Sudeikis and looks like him. And they met in Wilmington once at the Fox and Hound when he was in town for a shoot. And there's a picture of them together. So it's just like all these weird things coming together that just make it feel like, what the fuck? This is like, there's too much crossover.
That's awesome.
But enough about Chip McGee, which is his name. His cousin started
positive dude right there.
Pineapple shaped lamps, actually. The
Really?
Yeah, I think he was one of the OGs way back. But enough about random shit. Ted Lasso, go watch it. I do want to talk about it.
Yeah, please go watch
Really
Ted
good.
Lasso.
If
I think,
it'll
John,
make you feel good.
I think you should watch Dave too.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I also
recommended it.
finished Atlanta.
I've watched like the first 5 or 6 episodes. I enjoyed it a lot. Just didn't finish.
I love
think.
Atlanta.
So I think I bought. For some reason, I had to buy the episodes individually.
They're on Hulu, so
I don't know what it was. I think I was watching it.
Yeah.
Traveling or something. I don't know. But yeah, I kind of. I'm gonna hit you with this. Let me know if you're interested. But it could be
Hit me
something
with
to
it,
talk
dude.
about. But maybe we try Jungle Cruise. See what's that about. 'Cause
Oh.
that's a rock movie that failed. So it's be interesting to.
Did it fail?
It underwhelmed.
I felt like that movie was gonna. I felt like that movie was always gonna fail.
Yeah, so I think that could be something fun to talk about too, especially since we just talked about the rock star power. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe view the other side of it.
I wonder, is that for free? Is that one for free on Disney Plus?
Maybe we can
You
wait
don't
until it's not. But yeah, cool.
All right, bud. Yeah, well, as they say in Free City, don't have a good day, have a great day. Look at that.
Perfect.
Fucking
Perfect.
reference from the movie.
Dope.
Look at that.
Bye.